Okay, today we're going to talk about Python Turtle. So first of all, let's describe what it is. Python Turtle is a library of objects and methods. And methods are things that you can do to the objects that allow you to draw. So what it really does is, let me give you an example here. It creates a canvas that allows you to draw by creating colored pixels across the canvas. So in this example, we have these circles a program that's drawing bigger and bigger circles outwardly and changing the colors as it goes through to create a sort of animation that will clear itself and then reset and start drawing again. So this is an example of what the Turtle module can do, again, by using colored pixels to draw on a canvas. Okay, and the objects that you're going to be directing your attention to is a little object called a turtle that you're going to give instructions to so that it can draw for you on this canvas. Okay, the first thing that you need to do in order to utilize the Python Turtle module is you have to type this code at the very beginning of your program. You have to say import turtle. If you don't say import turtle, then you can't use any of the objects or the methods that this library offers. So you have to do this in the very first line. And I've already done this for you in the little assignment that I set up as we go through this introduction video. I've already imported turtle for you, but in the future, you will have to do that on your own. Okay. And the next thing that you need to do is you actually need to pull out the object, the turtle object from this library, and you need to name it. In this situation, I've named it T. I've said let T be equal to the turtle in the turtle object in the turtle library here. Okay, so in the last slide, I named the turtle T, but you can actually name the turtle anything that you want. In this slide, I've named the turtle Mod. In this slide, I've named the turtle Princess Bubblegum. Notice I've used the same thing on the right side of the equal sign here. You can name it anything you want, but just know that you do use a name a lot. Every time you want the turtle to do something, you have to say its name. So unless you want to just keep copying and pasting a longer name, you might want to keep it shorter for your own convenience. Okay, now is your chance to try this on your own. I want you to find the Replit assignment that I set up for you, and I want you to go ahead and name your turtle. Okay, so you should have named your turtle by now. Now I've named my turtle Elsie, and your turtle commands are going to look a little different because I'm sure you haven't named your turtle Elsie. But from now on, I'm going to refer to Elsie in this video because I've named my turtle Elsie. Again, you're going to be using a different name here, so your code is going to look slightly different than mine. The first thing that I want to go over is how you can use a method to draw. So we're going to use the forward command. Now, with all the methods that we're going to use, we're always going to say the turtle's name. We're going to follow it with a period, and then we're going to say the name of the command or the method. This command or method is called forward. Okay. Now, what this does is I've created a little GIF here that shows you the turtle walking forward. The turtle, in this case, it looks like a little arrowhead or a triangle. It walks forward 100. Now, what does 100 mean? And by the way, this is a GIF, so it's running over and over again. Your drawing is only going to perform this action once, and then it's going to stop. So 100 is actually 100 pixels. So both the forward and the backward commands use 100 pixels. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and try this on your own. I want you to draw a line that is either, you can either use the forward command or the backward command, but I want the line to be 200 pixels long. Okay, now that you've drawn that line, let's go over the turning commands. So I've added this command here of Elsie.write 90. And you'll notice in the GIF here is that it goes forward and it turns the arrowhead 90 degrees. Now, if I, after that, on line 5, asked it to move forward again, you would notice that it would move in a line it would draw a line that's perpendicular to the first line because the two lines would be creating 90-degree angles. You can put any angle measurement here that you would like. So this, unlike the forward command that takes in numbers that are translated as pixels, the right and the left command take in numbers that are translated as degrees. Okay, so that's important to understand what, sometimes the methods don't take in any numbers. Sometimes they take in numbers, sometimes they take in pairs of numbers, like the goto command, but it's important to understand like what those numbers are interpreted as, or the units those numbers are interpreted as. In this situation, they're interpreted as degrees. Okay. Another method that you can use is the circle method. So you say lc.circle, and you put a value in here. Now, this will create, this particular circle will draw a circle that will be 100 pixels in radius. Okay, remember the radius is the measurement from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle. And like before, with the forward and the backward command, the 100 refers to pixels here. Okay, it's not degrees, it's pixels. Okay, I want you to pause the video and try this on your own. I want you to draw a circle that has a diameter of 400 pixels. Okay, now the next thing that we can do to make our drawings a little bit more exciting is that we can fill the objects that are enclosed. So if I've created something like a circle where there's a clear definition of an inside of the object and an outside of the object, then I can ask the program to fill it. Now the way I do this is I use a method called begin and end fill. These are two different methods. I want to use the begin fill method before I start my drawing that will be enclosed, and I want to use the end fill after I finish the drawing. And that way it will determine the enclosure that you created between these two methods, and it will fill it with a color. By default, the color will be black, and I'll show you how to change that in a minute. What I want you to note about these methods is that they have open and closed parentheses. All methods have parentheses. Some of them take numbers in, and some of them don't. So these are methods that do not take numbers inside of them, but they have to have the parentheses or you will get an error message. Okay? So this is what it looks like when you've created the drawing. And again, this is a GIF, so it runs over and over again, but yours will draw it once and then stop. Okay, changing the color. Now, there are different color names that are recognized by the browsers. So most of the browsers have will recognize a variety of color names, but you have to know the names of the colors in order to utilize them. So if I say, the way I can change color is I can say lc.color. Okay, and this refers to the pen color that Elsie is drawing with. And I've used a color name that's recognized by my browser, so it's recognized by the development environment that is web-based. Okay, and it looks like this when I draw it. It creates a purple circle. Okay, now there is a website that I've put into the links here, colors.computercreative.com/grid, and this tells you all the color names that are recognized by the browser. So you can just write these color names inside of quotation marks, and the browser is going to recognize them, and Replit, which we use in a browser, will also recognize them. So there's a lot of different color names here. Okay, so you can go ahead and use that link in order to try this out. All right, and one other thing that I want you to know before you go back to trying some stuff out is I want you to understand how to clear the canvas. If you say lc.clear, then what it does is it takes all the drawings that you had before and it just clears it, okay? And you're going to be using this throughout the code for the try your own feature, and that way you don't just have a bunch of drawings on there. Eventually they'll clear themselves, so that as they go through, they'll draw, clear, and then they'll draw some other things, so that when I go to correct it, I can see that you've done that. All right, so go ahead to the Replit assignment. I want you to draw a circle that is filled with the color from the color chart. Okay, coming back, I want to show you how to tell the turtle to go to a certain spot. So in this little GIF here on the right, I have drawn a square and I filled it using the goto method. So goto method, unlike the forward and backward and the right and left, takes a pair of digits, a pair of integers. And these numbers right here are XY coordinates, just like we understand from math class. Okay, so they're XY coordinates. I've asked it to go to a pause. So I'm going to show you what the pen up is in just a second. I used my begin fill to start, and then I told it to go to different positions on the grid, and then I've I've told it to go to different positions on the grid, and then I've told it to end the fill, and that way the shape that I created that was enclosed will be filled, right? The XY positions that are going to show up on your screen are going to be dependent on how wide your canvas is, which depends on how wide your screen is on the computer you're using while you're using Replit. When I use it on my laptop, sometimes when I put in XY coordinates, I can't see the edges of where they go to, but your screens are much larger on the computers you use here in class. So you'll experiment with the edges of the screens that you use, and it's going to depend on how wide the canvas is on your panel when you run it. So you can open the panel up to make your canvas a little wider before you run it. Okay. Now I want you to go draw a square using the goto method and fill the square with color. Okay, so I want to go over the pen up method. When you use this, this command right here, pen up with open parentheses, nothing inside of it, the turtle will not draw. By default, the pen is down for the turtle as it's going through. But if you ask for the pen to be up, it will go somewhere without drawing a line there. And then once it gets there, you can tell it to put the pen down and draw. So the pen draw will begin the drawing where you want it to be. And this looks like this. I told it to go somewhere, and it goes there without drawing a line, and then it draws the line once it gets there. Okay. Another thing that I want to go through is how to change the pen size. So you use a method called pensize, and then you put in numbers here. Now what those numbers represent is they represent how many times bigger it is from the standard pen size. So 10 means it's 10 times bigger, 50 means it's 50 times wider or bigger, and 100 means it's 100 times wider or bigger. So here I just made a little GIF where I changed the color so you could see dark slate blue is the 10 size, Dodger blue is the 50, and fuchsia is the 100. Okay. Now, if you want to change the background color of something in Python Turtle, what you need to do is you need to say, first you need to tell the turtle to go get the screen using this method, lc.getScreen, open and close parentheses. Now, once you've gotten the screen, we want to name it something so that you can continue to call on that screen. I named it background because then I understand, like, that's easier for me to understand if I name it with a name that reflects what the properties are. So I know the background is going to be the entire background of the canvas. Now, once you've gotten the screen, and named it, you can refer to the name and you can use methods on that name. Background color can't be used on the turtle, but it can be used on the screen that I just got. So I say background.bgcolor, and I put in a color name that's recognized by the browser. So I want you to go ahead and try this on your own. I want you to change the background to a certain color and draw 3 differently colored lines in 3 different sizes in 3 different areas. So it'll look like mine, but it's going to be 3 lines in 3 different areas. And I want you to use the pen up so that the lines are separate. There's not a line in between the lines. Okay. Speed allows you to create slower or faster drawing. So in this GIF, I've created a circle with radius 50 using speed 1, and then speed 5 and 10 and 20. So I've made larger and larger circles so you can kind of see what the effects of using the speed method is. For some strange reason, the fastest speed is speed 0, even though that's the smallest number. But as soon as you go to speed 1 is the slowest speed. And then it goes, as you increase the speed upward, it gets faster, with the exception of speed 0. Speed 0 is sometimes not very fun, though, because the drawing just appears and you can't see it drawn. Another method that you can use is the stamp method and the hideturtle method. So here, I have used a speed of 3 to draw a square by using forward and then right. Now, before I turn right, I ask the turtle itself to stamp. So it creates a little a drawing of itself as it goes to make little, stamps at the corners of my square here. At the very end, I used a method called hideturtle, and so the turtle right here just doesn't show anymore. Okay. And one of the last things I want to show you is how to create different stamps based on the turtle shape. So here there are 5 shapes that are recognized by the development environment in Replit. Turtle, well, all of Python turtle. Turtle, circle, square, triangle, and classic. By default, it's classic, which is this little triangle. Don't confuse that with this equilateral triangle here. So I've created this little GIF to show you, okay, this is what the turtle looks like, the circle, the square, the triangle, and the classic. Okay. And finally, if you want to write on the screen, you would use a method called write. If you just say hello, it will write it, but in really small font. If you want to change the font, you're going to use a structure that looks like this, which takes in a triplet, 3 pairs of numbers. That's inside of the parentheses. Be very careful about the syntax here. Just have the screen up when you're going to write something so that you can follow the syntax exactly with the commas and the equal signs and the parentheses and the quotes, so that you understand how to write something. Okay? And your last try it on your own, I want you to clear your drawings. I want you to change the turtle's speed so it draws fast. And I want you to create a shape using lines and stamps. And then I want you to write something on your drawing using the write method. And that's it.